Hi gang, this is Jason. I'm here with a Cat Challenger 55 made by NZG on a beautiful sunny Midwestern summer's day. Let's talk tractors, y'all. Alright, so let's take a look at this tractor. This tractor is one of my all-time favorite tractors. It was made way back in 1996. Okay, so it's not that long ago. Well, it's 20 years ago. There you go. There's your how do you feel old now moment of the day. So the story with this tractor was, of course, there were not really any 1/16 scale or 1/64 scale, for that matter, track tractors being made, because this was kind of the starting point of the new ag track tractor, if you will. And then, of course, John Deere would have the 8400T not too long after this. And so then there was a bit of a back and forth there. Of course, we could go back to the old crawlers, Lindemann and all of those back in the day. But I'm talking modern tracked tractor made, by a big manufacturer. And so, of course, as at the time, 15-year-old boy, I was kind of obsessed with tractors, and I thought these track tractors were the coolest tractors in the world. And in fact, at the real farm, we got to demo one of these cat tractors, and that was probably one of the coolest days of my young life, if you will. I remember getting to sort of ride along with my dad, and then he turned me loose for a little while, and it was awesome to see a toy. And then, of course, the toy came out, and they had a 35, 45, and 55, which were all basically the same, but you got a different decal on the side. And they were expensive, especially for a 14-year-old boy. This tractor, brand new, I believe was about $140. Now, today, $140 is kind of entry-level four-wheel drive with a little bit of detail money. But, we're talking 1996. The Precision Series tractors in 1996, you could have them for 70, 80, 90, $100. This was up there. I mean, this was what, this was sort of custom territory, if you will. And so that's kind of crazy when you think about it, that, here's this company, NZG, they're a German company, and now they're bringing this tractor over that's retailing for 140, 150 bucks. To try to sell over here, and I think it must have done all right. I don't know. I want to say, numbers vary, but I want to say there's maybe 500 total of these made. This is actually number 19, and I don't know for sure if the 35, 45, and 55 each have their own number, if you will, or if all those are lumped in together. But anyway, if on the box of this, which I still have, obviously, I'll keep that, it has number 19 on it, so that's kind of cool. Anyway, so a little bit about the real tractor before we get into looking at the model a little bit more. So, like I said, these were, made by Cat. They had a 7.2 liter 6-cylinder diesel engine, and that made, depending on the size, of course, the 55 here made 191 drawbar and 225 PTO power. So, this is like a really good planting tractor, light tillage, things like that. I know when we looked at one, we kind of had maybe planting in mind with it. We didn't actually end up buying one because, the real thing was $133,000, which today you go, oh my gosh, that's not that much, considering that won't even get you a 7000 series probably anymore, 7000 series John Deere, let alone a big track tractor like a Cat. But anyway, and of course they had a pretty wide range of track options, and I think you could even get some different widths. You could space them out for row cropping, things like that. Like I said, pretty cool, really caught my imagination as a kid. I thought they were the coolest thing, maybe aside from some four-wheel drives or whatever, but saved my money, got the toy. I actually remember the day I got this. I was at the Bloomington Gold Show in Springfield, and probably not too many of you remember that show. It was only around for a couple of years. It was at the State Fairgrounds, Springfield, Illinois. And it was this huge show, and they had all these antique tractors. It was the coolest thing, and it's unfortunate it wasn't able to keep going. So I went, this guy had a 45 and a 55. The 45, the box had some issues on it, and so I ended up getting the 55. And like I said, I think I paid $140 or $150 for it. I've got it wrote down at home, but I don't remember exactly what it was. So anyway, let's take a look at the toy. So keep in mind, this is, I believe the toy version of this came out in 96 or 97. So this is a lot of detail for then outside of the Precision series, and then outside of guys like Gilson, Ricky, and Coleman Wheatley, and those like Ev Weber, those really top tier scratch builders. Nobody was putting out a lot of detail in tractors at this time. So it's not that this is detailed to the hilt, but you got handrails and mirrors and a grab rail here, and you got hood latches, and they don't move or open or anything, but they're there. You got a cool little work light here, and on top, I'll tilt this rather than move the camera for once. You kind of got this cool cap here. Lots of really neat detail on the tracks. The bogey wheels even roll. I mean, that doesn't even happen today on a lot of the track tractors. Usually they're stationary, a lot of the toy track tractors. You got kind of these cool dished rims and these arms and all the bolts. Really great tractor for its time, actually. I mean, it's impressive. The work they did, and then to think it was only $140. If this tractor was made today, this is probably a $200 tractor easily. And it's heavy too. I mean, it's a lot of die cast. It's not, there's plastic in it, don't get me wrong, but it's well built. So, the backside, you get the 3-point hitch, and the 3-point hitch does move, but it's really tight. So I'm not going to. But you get the 3-point hitch, the hydraulic outlets, you even get a little light back here, and lights on the corner. The drawbar swings. I mean, that stuff is, like I said, that's pretty cool for the era that this tractor came out in, anyway. Moving around to the other side, it's kind of much of the same. You got your mirror detail, nice little exhaust here, really good detail in the track area, and your hood latch. So now I'll try to take us in and see if we can get you some cab detail here a little bit. So it's got a steering wheel. The dash doesn't really have any detail to it except for a couple knobs, and then I guess I'm gonna hit the tractor with it. And then you've got your console, and it's got your your levers and switches, hydraulics, your controls, things like that. So again, really cool tractor for its era. For mid 90s, you just don't get that much detail in that era, really. This in a way kind of started it, because then the not started it, I mean the Precision series, and then really those scratch builders, because Ertl was copying those guys with the Precision series. So but $140, really nicely detailed. I think now these are selling for $200 to $250, just depending on the person you find and the mood they're in. And so they've appreciated some, certainly not a ton, but still, again, a really cool tractor, and one of my favorites. And so thanks for watching, thanks for checking it out, and as always, check us out on Facebook for the love of tractors, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day. Good luck tractor hunting.